Summit, Alaska, UMM. To Soldotna, Alaska, PASX. IFR, VOR to VOR. And we're gonna throw in, I think that's Talkeetna. We want that in there. Talkeetna. Alright, let's check this route out. I'm gonna go from Summit to Talkeetna to Big Lake to Ted Stevens. And OLT is Soldotna VOR. Direct. 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and make it 12,000. And we're ready. Go ahead and save that. Do not move my flight to the departure point. We can start the flight in FSE economy. Let's file our flight plan in VATSIM from Summit to Soldotna. Alternate standby. We're gonna do from direct Talkeetna, direct Big Lake, Bravo Golf Quebec, direct Ted Stevens, Tango Echo Delta, direct Soldotna OLT. Soldotna does not exist. I call PAS, but we're gonna go to PASX for Soldotna, and we can probably put it in from there. Zoom to arrival. Aha. OLT. To Papa Alpha Sierra X-ray. Done. Zoom to ship. Alright, wait. Zoom to arrival airport. Our alternate is going to be Kenai, Papa Alpha Echo November. Papa Alpha Echo November. Departure time 0440. Time en route's going to be 55 minutes. Fuel available is 3 hours at 336 gallons, burning 112 gallons an hour. Cruising altitude will be 12,000. We're going direct to Talkeetna, direct Big Lake, direct Ted Stevens VOR, direct Soldotna, direct. File flight plan. Flight plan successfully filed. Alternate is going to be PAEN. Refresh. Briefing. Play voice
Standard
briefing.
weather briefing for uniform. Mike 2. Papa Alpha Sierra X-ray. No segments active for your route of flight. No airmats active for your route of flight. Current weather conditions.
FS passengers. Start a flight. Load aircraft.
10. Sky condition. Ceiling 6,200. Broken. Ceiling 8,200. Overcast. Temperature 15. Dew point 10. Altimeter 2995. For the destination, wind 225 at 5. Visibility 10. Sky condition, ceiling 2,300. Overcast, temperature 13. Dew point 8. Altimeter 3006. For your alternate, wind 195 at 8. Visibility 10. Sky condition 6,500. Scattered
Standard weather briefing for uniform Mike 2 Papa Alpha Sierra X-ray. No SIGMETs active for your route of flight. No airmets
No
active for your route of
cargo.
flight. Current weather
keep
conditions
weight
for your
low.
departure. Wind, calm, visibility 10. Sky condition, ceiling 6,200. Broken, ceiling 8,200. Overcast. Temperature 15. Dew point 10. Altimeter 2995 for the destination. Wind 225 at 5. Visibility 10. Sky condition, ceiling 2,300. Overcast. Temperature 13. Dew point 8. Altimeter 3006 for your alternate. Wind 195 at 8. Visibility 10. Sky condition 6,500. Scattered. Ceiling 9,000. Overcast. Temperature 12. Dew point 9. Altimeter 3006. Forecast conditions for your departure. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition. Ceiling 6,200. Broken. Ceiling 8,200. Overcast. Temperature 15. Dew point 10. Altimeter 2995 for the destination at your estimated arrival time. Wind 225 at 5. Visibility 10. Sky condition. Ceiling 2,300. Overcast. Temperature 13. Dew point 8. Altimeter 3006 for your alternate at your estimated arrival time. Wind 195 at 8. Visibility 10. Sky condition 6,500. Scattered. Ceiling 9,000. Overcast. Temperature 12. Dew point 9. Altimeter 3006. Winds aloft for your departure at 2,000 feet. Wind 055 at 7 at 9,000 feet. Wind 353 at 5 at 3,000 feet. Wind 224 at 5 for the en route area at 2,000 feet. Wind 052 at 8 at 9,000 feet.
Right
Wind
generator
070
off. Left
at
generator
2 for the
off.
destination at 2,000 feet. Wind 040 at 7 at 9,000 feet. Wind 030 at 2 at 3,000 feet. Wind 145 at 4. For updates and current weather conditions, contact FlightWatch on 122.0 or 122.05. Pilot reports are appreciated.
Okay, 29905 is our departure altimeter. 29905 is set. Clear prop on the right, ready to right ignition. Introduce fuel. ITT stabilized, torque is stabilized, prop RPM is getting there, gas generator is good, oil pressure, oil levels, oil temperature good, fuel still solid, good engine start, right ignition off, high idle, right generator on, charging. Door is closed, left prop clear, clear prop, and left engine start. Introduce fuel. Looks stable. Left ignition off. High idle, left generator on. Warm up the engines, good start. Let's get the seatbelt sign on, get those guys buckled in. Turn on some avionics and some lights. We got panel navigation and taxi lights on. We're ready for a little bit of music. Alright, we got... Go through the checklist. Oil pressure and fuel pressure lights are extinguished. Engine still looks stable. Right condition levers, left condition levers, back down to low idle. All lights extinguished, generators are on, verified on, ignitions are off. Avionics switches on, engine start checklist complete before takeoff. Avionics check, our winds are 343. We've got, what of our runways here? Hold on, we gotta go UMM, sky vector. Bring that up real quick. Boop, 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 boop. We got runway 3 and 2-1. We're going to take off runway 3. Heading 030. Set and checked. We're going to climb up to 12,000. Set and checked. Let's go get the VOR frequency for Soldotna. On our flight plan here, it's going to be COM on 116.2. And pull up identify for nav 1, both radios on. 122.8 for VATSIM. Let's get our IFR clearance going. Check differential brakes. Brake check. Good brakes.
Departure frequency is 133.1, squawk 1577. Clearance point 30 minutes from now.
Alright, squawk 1577.
Departure is 133.1.
It wants us to climb to 8,000 on departure, 8,000 set and checked. 133.1 on departure. We can do it. We're going to take off runway 3 and taxi to the runway. Passengers are buckled in, engines are good to go before takeoff, run-up checklist, electronic pitch control, trim tabs are set, auto feather, armed, flaps down. We'll exercise the governor on the runway, ready to taxi. Hey, Chromag LB, we are actually going to down by Kenai. So that's cool. Great minds think alike. It's actually Soldotna is where we're going. Summit traffic, King Air 971 Delta Lima is taxiing on a runway tree. Back taxi for departure to the south. We'll be climbing to 8,000 on departure. I also live in Anchorage, Chromag. That's awesome. On the runway, strobes and landing lights are now on. Alright. Let's turn off the music. We're about ready for departure. Get our crew announcement going. We're gonna have to use up as much this runway as we can. We very well might not be able to get out of here. I mean, we're gonna park in the dirt here and get all of it. Alright, exercise governor, props, exercise, 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 high idle on both engines, full props on both engines, auto feathers verified armed, manual prop feathering has been checked, anti-ice not required and off. This is a short runway, we are going to go fuel pump on. Before takeoff, annunciator lights extinguished or considered. They are. We're going to squawk altitude. Lock our GPS in there. Takeoff speeds V1 100 knots, VR 110, and V2 120. Ready for takeoff. Let's go ahead and line back up with this runway just a bit better. And I will get to you in just a second. I'm sorry. Hold on. We gotta clear that tree line. Passing 80 knots, 90 knots, 100 knots V1, 110 knots V rotate, 120 knots. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Over the trees, flaps retract. Trim for climb, fuel boost pump off. Alright, we can clear those mountains, start left turn. Should pick up Talkeetna soon. There's Talkeetna. Dial in our course for Talkeetna. About a 189 heading. Alright, we are over obstructions. There's where we took off from, summit. And turning direct Talkeetna on a 186 heading. That is Talkeetna. We can stop identifying that station. Level off the wings here. Let's get autopilot set on nav and altitude hold. Turn on the flight director. Flight director on. And we're tracking direct Talkeetna now. Call up center on 133.1. 90% power for climb out, 1600 RPMs for the props set. Getting a lot of turbulence. We can reduce our rate of climb now back down to 1000 for a little bit more comfort. Engines look good. Temperatures look good. Oil pressure is solid. Fuel levels are solid. Looks like the plane's still in great shape. Alright, 125.55. We can do that. 125.55. Boop. Boop. And contact Anchorage Center. Takeoff. Flaps retracted, gears verified up. Climb is 90% on turbine 1 set, and props at 1600 RPM is set. Prop synchronizer is on. 2995 is set. Climb and maintain 12000, acknowledge. Engine instruments still look solid. Lights as required, taxi light off. Our climb checklist is complete. Ready for the cruise checklist. And ready to pass 10,000 feet, turn off the landing light. Let's reset the flight director. Autopilot is really struggling with this turbulence. It is bumpy up here. See if we can help it out.
November 7117 Golf is clear to Papa Alpha November Airport as filed. Squawk 0506. Beech November 7.
Alright, and let me see.
Golf clear to Papa Alpha November Airport is filed.
No, I'm not a pilot up here. I mean, I got my VFR license like 3 years ago, but I haven't flown for real in a very, very long time. I want to start flying up here. But I just don't have any money, so this is what I do in the meantime. But I wish, man, this is like the perfect place to fly. This is why I practice here in the sim, so I don't die in real life. Alright, we got, looks like everything is pretty well set here. Let's just double check. Talkeetna's about 56 miles away. We'll be there in about 13 minutes. Let's announce on VATSIM that we're clear of Summit. Summit traffic, King Air 971 Delta Lima is clear of the runway. We're passing at 9,000 for 12,000 en route to Talkeetna, then Big Lake. 12,000 is our final altitude, and final destination is Soldotna, Papa Alpha Sierra X-Ray. Traffic call made to VATSIM, back on COM 1. Listening to both Center and Unicom. Coming up on 9,300 feet. At 10,000 we gotta turn off the landing light. At 12,000 we gotta turn off the auto feather. Still waiting for a cruise checklist. Engine instruments still look good. We're a little high on the RPM, so let's bring that down just a bit. A little low on our torque, so let's bring that up just a bit. Temperatures look good, pressure looks good, no warning lights, no indications of trouble. Passing 9,900. Ready to turn off landing light. Passing 10,000 feet, landing light off. I love flying. It's like the best thing in the world, but it's extremely expensive, and I don't get paid to do it, so I have to pay other people to do it, and I don't have the money right now, so simulation is like the next best thing. Eventually I'll get I'll scrape some money together and I'll be able to actually go flying up here, but, you live in like the best place for it. It's pretty cool you're living up in Anchorage, man. If you've got I just moved here. I've only been here for like 3 weeks or so. So if you have any suggestions on places to go, or hikes to do, or any places that Native Alaskans gotta check out, I'm all ears. And it's gonna be a while before I get to fly. Alright, so we're coming up on Talkeetna. It's about 45 miles away, so on the right is Mount Denali, or formerly Mount McKinley. I think it's still McKinley National Park, but I think Obama renamed it from Mount McKinley to Denali in like 2012 or something like that. We're coming up on the Susitna River. Let's see here. It is down there. That is the Susitna River, and it'll break off in about...
Contact Anchorage Center on 133.1.
Looks like it'll break off in about 100 miles or so, and then drain into the Cook Inlet, where it becomes the mouth of the Big Susitna River and the mouth of the Little Susitna River. I'm sure you've seen that before from Anchorage.
Anchorage Center, roger, altimeter 2995.
I've heard of Thunderbird Falls, and I've driven past Earthquake Park, but I haven't heard of Stuck Again Heights or Arctic Valley. I'll have to look those up. Oh, I've been to Moose's Tooth twice now. That place is fantastic. It really is. But you gotta stand outside forever. Alright, we're at our cruising altitude, 12,000. We're ready to turn off our auto feather and come down on our engine power to get to our cruising speed. Yeah, Moose's Tooth is fantastic. Never go in, get it to go. You know, that's a great idea, actually. I'm gonna have to do that next time. Alright, we're about 37 miles from Talkeetna now. And then from Talkeetna, we gotta turn to Big Lake. So let's get Big Lake dialed up on VOR 2, on our nav 2 radio here, on 112.5. And then we're gonna identify that station so we know when it's in range. Looks like it's already in range. Let's verify that that's Big Lake. We're looking for a dash dot 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 dash dash dot dash dash dot dash dot dot dash dash dot dash dash dot dash. That was it. That is Big Lake. Turn off the identify for that. And we gotta find our heading from Talkeetna to Big Lake. Looks like it's gonna be a 160 off of Big Lake. So let's go ahead and lock in our heading and switch our navs over to from 116.2 to 112.5. Re-identify the station on nav 1 radio one more time for good measure, and bring up our course of 160. That's still Big Lake, now verified on nav 1 radio. Nav 2 radio is opened up to get to Ted Stevens, which looks like we're going to have to find the frequency manually for that one. That's an updated VOR. I'm not sure if it'll actually work. 113.15. 113.15. And nav 2 identify station. That'll let us know when we're in range of Ted Stevens VOR. Wow, really good reception of the VORs up here. I'm impressed we're able to hear that one. Dash dot dot. No, dash dot dash dot dot. That's it. That's Ted Stevens, so we're ready to dial in that one next once we get closer to Big Lake. But for now, I actually need Talkeetna up there on 116.2. And we need to get nav 2 selected for the DME. We got 26.8 miles to go. Stuck Again Heights is what Baxter Road turns into, heading south across Tudor. Okay. I think I know Baxter Road. So that's like up there by the hospital in Campbell Park, I think. It's like a 5-minute drive up a hill, turns into multi-million-dollar housing neighborhoods with decent amount of bears and moose. Just make sure it brings your stuff. Yeah, that's one thing I learned about Alaska. I don't walk around outside without a gun. Alright, engine instruments still looking good. Fuel levels are still looking good. It's beautiful up here at 12,000. There's a much better view of Mount Denali, and then I think this one is Mount Foraker or Foraker. No, that's fine. I'm on the south side of town, south of the airport, and I'm by Campbell Lake. If you know where Campbell Lake's at, it's like if you go down Jewel Lake Road about 8 miles, no, not even 8 miles, maybe like 6 miles down Jewel Lake Road. That's about where Campbell Lake is, and I live east of that. I love it. I mean, we had a moose like in our backyard just the other day. Yeah, you're up by the base.
Anchorage Center,
Good old Jaybird.
Airport 88 with you. Mooney, November 6.
It is just absolutely beautiful. Oh my god, I thought I was crashing for a second. And that's one thing I love about flying up here is there's no shortage of wonderful views and wonderful challenging weather and extremely challenging airports to try to land at. I mean, getting into Summit, it's actually my last video. If you're interested in seeing that, I will link you the youtube.com. I will link you my channel. It's the last video that I posted, and you can see the landing into Summit. I mean, it's absolutely insane what these guys do up here in real life. You know what I mean? I'm like freaking out trying to do it in the simulator, and these guys are like flying it on a daily basis. But that's the YouTube channel in case you want to pull it up. Totally don't worry about it. Alright, traffic 1 o'clock at 15,000. I think we missed that traffic.
Beech 1, Delta Lima. Don't have the Mooney Bravo in sight.
He may have passed us already. Yep, there he goes. He's behind us. Alright, we got 13 miles to go to Talkeetna. Just searched Alaska on Twitch because you were bored, and you found me, man. Well, I appreciate you watching. Nobody ever watches, so this is quite a surprise. Honestly, this is almost an exercise in documenting my progress as a pilot, or lack thereof. Being able to see mistakes I've made and whatnot. And it's just extremely convenient to broadcast it on Twitch, and then it just automatically saves everything. And I can go back and watch it whenever I want. But I'm just a huge airplane nerd, so I'm like, this is porn to me. Yeah, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. It's just in case you wanted to see what it's like getting to Summit. It is the last video on there. So what made me move up here, I actually got a new job, and I work over at the airport at Ted Stevens International. Smooth air, we can turn these seatbelt signs off, and we can start some drink and food service. I play Rocket League, I play Mountain Blade, Warband. I'm really looking forward to Mountain Blade Bannerlord coming out. I play, obviously, Flight Sim. I play like City Skylines. I play, let me see, I've got War Thunder, Civilization, Grand Theft Auto, Grim Dawn. Those are about the ones that I probably play the most often. This is what I play most often, and then Rocket League's probably a close second. Really? You got a buddy who works at ATC over at Ted Stevens? Small world. We're actually passing, well, coming up on Talkeetna, 5 miles away, and we're ready to turn direct Big Lake. I will have to look him up and see if I can find him. I probably won't, because I don't want to have to admit that that this is what I do for fun with my time off. Let's check the traffic on Vatastic. Vatastic is a program here, just vatastic.com. If you ever get into flight simming and VatSim, this is just absolutely fantastic. It shows you all the players that are online around you. There's nobody up here near me, so it makes it pretty easy to not have to deal with. That's why I have to turn on the AI traffic, just so I have some other stuff to worry about. But you can see all the flights in the world of players that are online, and these are air traffic controllers that are online. It's actually really slow right now, but it's in the middle of the week. I mean, I've seen times where the whole ocean is just one solid black line of aircraft going back and forth. Pretty interesting little project. These guys do it for free, donation only. Very, very useful tool.
Turn left heading 165, orbit read 147.
Alright, passing over Talkeetna. Now I can't see much because of the clouds. Basically the only thing that there is to see is Mount Denali. There's just a solid overcast layer. Looks like there is a bit of a storm ahead. Probably be there in about 10 minutes. Have to get the seatbelt signs back on and probably pause the service. And probably use some de-icing. So that's actually what this does. This is a program called Active Sky Next. This is actually the Steam edition of Active Sky Next. What this does is it actually reads the weather, the real world weather at all these stations, all the weather stations in the, in the area. And let me see, where are we at? Oh, we're over here. Okay. So it reads all the weather in the area, and it actually procedurally generates it in the game, and so you get all the right conditions, the correct time, the correct temperature, the correct wind speed, the correct precipitation, the correct clouds. It puts all that in here and gives you real world weather. So if it starts raining in the game, I can open up my window and it'll be raining, here in Anchorage for real. So that just adds a whole nother layer of realism.
132.3, H1 Delta Lima.
1 tree 2 point tree, switch 1 tree 2 point tree, and contact Anchorage approach. Yeah, it definitely, yeah, like I said, just adds a whole nother layer of realism, and kind of forces you 3001 forces you to kind of plan and kind of just check and see what the weather's going to be like, and you can't just put it on easy mode and just fly, and wipe out the clouds, and you don't know what you're going to encounter. Sometimes it's clear in a million, and sometimes you're just absolutely socked in crazy fog, crazy. I'm looking forward to wintertime when there's crazy low temperatures, and I've got to deal with that, because practice like you play. So if I'm gonna do this in real life, I might as well deal with as realistic as I can, so I learn how to fly in this sort of weather and I don't get myself killed, because I can crash in here. Yeah, I haven't experienced the weather yet, a winter yet, so I say that from I guess I say that cautiously, but I'm looking forward to it from the simulation perspective. I'm not really looking forward to it in real life, having to plug my car into an outlet so that I can have it not die. That's gonna be weird. Yeah. Luckily, I only live like, 10 minutes down the road. But, worst case scenario, I can't get to work, and then, I don't know, I guess I just get a free day. I don't know how they work that, to be honest with you. Oklahoma City is where I moved here from. So, not nearly the same kind of weather. They have like 12 hours of daylight, like normal places. It was so strange moving up here. I haven't seen nighttime since I've been here, because it's like 20 hours of daylight right now. But from a simulator standpoint, I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of weather is generated in here and what kind of challenges that's going to provide. Ice on the runway and braking actions and, crazy storms and icing and the en route. So now we're going to be flying through precipitation. It's pretty cold up here. So if you watch the airspeed needle, it's probably going to die here. That's my pitot tube freezing up. I got switches over here that I can turn the heat on, keep the engines from dying. I'll let it freeze up just to show you an example. I'll try not to crash. I try every time not to crash, so I mean no promises, but... So this is what it looks like flying through IFR. Can't see anything, and you're literally just watching this stuff to make sure that you're straight and level, make sure that you're still on course. We still haven't had the pitot tube freeze up yet, but it should happen anytime now, if it's cold enough. I used to live in Vegas as well. I lived in North Las Vegas, technically. What are you going down to Vegas for? You gotta go gamble? If you haven't learned how to play craps and you're going to gamble, that's the best game. Henderson's super nice. That's like the... I lived in the crappy part of town. Henderson's like the really nice part of town. Okay, that sound did not sound good. That was a distinct change in the pinch of the engines. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the de-icing. Make sure we don't lose an engine out here. I'm watching all the instruments. Everything sounds okay. Actually, it just opened back up. So we're out of the clouds. We can turn the icing off. De-icing off. Oh, congratulations, man. Oh, that's awesome. So you're a first-time uncle, or?
Orbit 3147. Contact Anchorage Center on 133.7.
Ready to dial in Ted Stevens. Frequency on 11 tree.15. 11 tree.15. We are 40 miles from Ted Stevens. So we are 40 miles from Anchorage. We are 14 miles from Big Lake. Let's go ahead and put it on manual heading as we approach the VOR, because this needle becomes super sensitive. Well, congratulations on being a first-time uncle, man. That's a super big deal. Yeah, Mahjong, everybody plays that game. I don't have any idea how to play that. If you're gonna gamble, man, you gotta go to the local casinos. Your brothers will know. They're called like the station casinos. You know, you'll have like Red Rock or Aliante or stuff like that. That's where the locals gamble, and it's way cheaper. You know what I mean? You'll find $5 tables instead of $20 tables. So $100 will actually last you all night. But you know, if you're looking for a game to play that you can actually have a lot of fun in, and instead of just losing your money, you will lose your money, but you'll lose it a lot slower. Craps is where it's at. Going to 133.7, 133.7, and contact Anchorage Center. Altimeter 3005, set and check. 10 miles from Big Lake. Let's go ahead and switch over to 113.15 for Tango Echo Delta, and get our course direct. And then we're ready to dial in our next frequency, which is going to be Soldotna on 115.9er. And we can identify nav2. And we're listening for a dash 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 dot dash dot dot dash. That is Soldotna. Dash 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 dot dash dot dot dash. So when we hear that, we will know that we've got Soldotna in range and verified. There, the airspeed actually just came back alive. So it looks like we're getting into some icing conditions. We'll put de-icing back on.
November 3607, Mike is on final runway 13, touch and go, last traffic.
Oh yeah, the dealers there are the dealers want you to win because you'll have a good time and you'll tip them and everything like that, but the house always wins, but they'll always help you out. Ask them questions. They won't steer you wrong, especially at the station casinos. They love their locals. Hook you up with free food and free alcohol. That's the thing, you go in there and you try to if you're just trying to drink, you go and play craps. If you play real smart, you can make $100 last. I used to go in there with $100 and I'd be there from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock in the morning. And no, more like 5 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd just be gambling for 12 hours straight off of $100 and be drinking free drinks the whole time. And my money would just be kind of going up and down, and you just leave drunk as a skunk for free. Alright, we are passing Big Lake, so to our west down there, or I'm sorry, to our east is Wasilla. I believe that is Wasilla. That is the Knik Arm. And Eagle River would be right up here. Actually, maybe more like down in here. And you got, I think that bridge that goes across would be right up in here, and then Palmer would be right over here. Big Lake would be directly right down in here. And then up ahead is Anchorage, basically straight ahead. That is a 960-foot MSL antenna that's just northwest of Goose Bay. That's Goose Bay, if you've ever heard of that. Goose Bay is on the other side of the river. And then I think the mountain is going to be obscured by clouds, but... Oh, well, there's the Susitna River, and then right over here, if the clouds are gone, you'd be able to see Mount Susitna, or what you guys call it, the Sleeping Lady. And if I could see it, it'd be a little easier to point that out. And then you can see the Chugach Mountains coming in right there. So Anchorage is completely socked in, but you can kind of get a glimpse. That looks like Ted Stevens right there, right in that opening. I got a friend and his girlfriend live up in Wasilla. They actually work at the base, which is weird because it's an hour-long commute. All right, we're ready to switch over back to our navigation direct to Ted Stevens. Still looking to identify Soldotna. De-icing can come off. Alright. There's a little bit of a better view. So that would be Willow Creek right there. You can hardly see it, but there's an airport right there. I think it's Willow Creek. No, it's Birchwood. I'm sorry. Birchwood. You've probably driven past there for a minute. Yeah, no problem. Going back into the clouds, turn the de-icing back on. Watch for turbulence. See if we've got any icing. See if we need our seatbelt sign. Looks pretty smooth.
Number 235 Papa, turn right heading 285.
Papa Alpha, turn right heading 285. November 33507, Mike is on final. Runway 13, touch and go, left traffic.
Running 58 Golf, climb and maintain 15,000. Number 235 Papa, contact Anchorage approach, sun 119.1.
119.1, Bombardier 35 Papa.
They should be switching us to Anchorage approach here on 119.1 here.
5,000, 45 days gone.
They're actually late on the switch because Anchorage owns all the way up to Willow, which was back there by Big Lake. Well, that's okay. Flight Sim does a pretty good job. Did they try? Kind of hard to give a tour in this soup. Not a whole lot to see from up here, but we're about 4 miles north of Point McKenzie, which is the southern tip of the wharf that's north of the Knik Arm, about west of Elmendorf Air Force Base, or Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson, apparently what it's called now. Alright, 8 miles from Ted Stevens. Let's switch over to manual heading and then program in our next radial on 1 at 9 or 8. And that'll take us to Soldotna. Now Soldotna is an NDB, a non-directional beacon. No, I'm sorry, it's just a low-class VOR. No, it's a non-directional beacon on 346. So we...
November 90158 Kilo, Anchorage Center, Roger. Altimeter 3006. 58 Kilo, contact Anchorage.
I don't know how to set that. I don't think I've got equipment for that.
November 3607, Mike is on downwind, runway 13.
Probably should have filed for Kenai. Would have been a little easier. Anyway, we're 3 miles north of Ted Stevens. It's just below us. We're over Anchorage now. Can't make anything out. That looks like Lake Campbell. There's Ted Stevens. Ted Stevens International Airport. There's Lake Hood, Sea Base. And we're ready to turn.
Alpha Uniform Oscar, traffic mall, November 3607, Mike is on final, runway 13, touch and go, left traffic.
We're gonna go 10 degrees to the right. Our VOR needle is saying we're left, of course. We turned a little late. So once that green line gets locked in here, we will be tracking the 198 radio outbound from the Ted Stevens VOR. Alright, ATC has started vectoring us, so 195. Ready to do our descent checklist. Descent, altimeter. Should still be the same altimeter. She didn't give us one. Altimeter set, auto feather. Nope, nope, don't do that. Auto feather armed. And 2,100. And fuel balance checked. Power as required. Descent checklist complete. Once we pass 10,000, we need to come back on with our landing light. Still haven't picked up that DME station, but we are 9 miles from Ted Stevens now. And from Ted Stevens to our destination is I gotta do math. Oh, great. 5, 21, 29. Alright, so 45. We're at 45 miles. Acknowledge handoff on 119.1. Let's call that sim. Ted Stevens traffic, King Air 971 Delta Lima is currently 10 miles southwest of Ted Stevens, descending out of 10,000 for 2,100 direct to Soldotna for visual approach runway 24. Passing 10,000 feet, landing light on. Contact Anchorage approach. You did miss Anchorage, it's back there. Oh no, I'll turn around. Yeah, you really couldn't see much. I did see Lake Hood and all that good stuff. But we're descending now. We're passing 9,400 for 2,100 on our descent down to Soldotna, and we're setting up for a visual to runway 25. We are over, we're just a little bit south of Point Possession now, which is on the south side of the Turnagain Arm. Thunder to the northeast. That looks about right. That's definitely got some energy to it. Let's get some procedures for Soldotna loaded up. Our nav GPS runway 25 will work. We're going to need to get some weather. The AWAS on 135.45, 135.45. Automated weather observations, 06160.
Automated
3007 set, and looks like the weather at Soldotna is actually really nice. So that's good. They're offering visual approaches, so
Sky condition clear. Temperature 1, 2 Celsius. Dew point 8 Celsius. Altimeter 3.
let's get the seatbelt sign on, descending into some possible turbulence here, de-icing back on. Before landing checklist, auto feathers verified arm, we're going to turn prop sync off. Altimeter is set. Flaps landing gear, we're going to hold off on that till we're on final. It says required. Anti-ice is required. And we're back in the soup now. Can't see nothing.
November 6181, Anchorage approach, Roger, altimeter 3006.
Alright, looks like we picked up our DME station. We are 24 miles from Soldotna, approaching quickly at 172 knots per hour. Still on an ATC vector 1 at 9 or 5 and a descent down to 2,100. Looks like the weather's clearing up a bit, so we should be able to... Behind us is Barbara Lake. I don't know if you've ever been up there, but that Barbara Lake is right here. And Kenai is right over here. Alright, moving to Anchorage Center on 125.7.
Contact 5.7. H1 Delta Lima.
125.7. Getting a lot of turbulence.
Anchorage Center, Beech, November 971, Delta Lima, is at 4,400, descending 2,100. Beech, November 971, Delta Lima, Anchorage Center, Roger, altimeter 3006. Anchorage Center, Moody, November 1918 Golf, wind yield 12,000. Moody, November 1918 Golf, Anchorage Center, Roger.
I haven't been down to Kenai yet. I'm thinking about taking a trip down to Seward when my sister comes up here to visit with her fiance. That might be fun. You ever been down there to Seward? Seward would be basically over here-ish. Kind of more to the left. Probably like on the other side of that little mountain range. I've heard to go to the Sea Life Center. Have you? Was it good? Was it worth it? We're 17 miles from the DME station. Soldotna should be almost in sight.
H1 Delta Lima, turn left heading 105, descend and maintain 2,100. Turn left heading 105, descend and maintain 2,100. 2100. H1 Delta Lima.
Turning us on a crazy downwind now.
Delta Lima. Turn left heading 135. Turn left heading 135. H1 Delta Lima.
The ATC in this game can be special. We're approaching our
Center, Pacifica,
level off altitude of 2,100, so we're going to increase power to maintain altitude, decrease our rate of descent. Yeah, let's see. Seward would be now at our 11 o'clock on the other side of that mountain. That would be where Seward is. And Soldotna is now at our 2 to 3 o'clock.
Turn right heading 165.
Right turn heading 165. Alright, we're coming in on Soldotna. We should be able to see it any minute now. It's a really small airport, so it'll be tough to spot. We got our seatbelt sign on. We are about ready to start configuring for landing. Once we get this airport in sight, we're leveled off at 2,100. On an ATC assigned vector of 165. We're 13 miles from the station. The airport is at our 2 o'clock. That might be it, but really hard to tell. We're just gonna let ATC handle it and keep giving us these crazy vectors. That's why I counted for some extra time for our arrival. We're coming close to the initial approach fix, Fowler, Foxtrot Alpha Lima India Romeo for the GPS runway 25, but we're not going to do an instrument approach because the weather is great. Just want to get this guy on the ground. That lake up there on the left, that is the Skillock Lake. Left turn, or right turn 195. Knowledge. Right turn 225. Let's go ahead and start slowing down just a bit so we can bleed some of this speed off so we can get our gear down. We need to be below 180 knots, which is basically where we're at right now. Otherwise we'll just rip them right off the plane, and that's expensive. So, you know, I don't want to do that. Still, that might be one of the restricted airports up here. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other airports in the vicinity of Soldotna that are smaller that we gotta watch out for. Nope. We're getting too low. Yep, I see it. My bad. I'm working on it.
Climb and maintain 2,100. H1 Delta Lima.
My bad, buddy.
Anchorage Center, Cessna November 5.
Got a little too slow there.
Whiskey Niner South. Cessna November 5454 X-ray. Anchorage Center, Roger. Altimeter 3008. Climb and maintain flight level 250. Pacifica 6873.
Still no sight of the airport.
Your climb to 2,100.
Nah, I'm good.
American Pacific 8194. Descend and maintain 1,500. Descend and maintain 1,500. American Pacific 8194.
Let's go high idle on our engines.
Please next your climb to 2,100. Beech 1 Delta Lima. Airport is 1 miles at your 1 o'clock. Turn right heading 255. Climb and maintain 2,100. Report runway in sight.
Alright. There it is, right there.
Turn right heading 255.
That red light is our visual approach slope indicator, VASI, Victor Alpha Sierra India. And that tells us the two reds tells us that we're too low. So we got runway in sight.
Runway in sight. Beech 1 Delta Lima. Your 9 miles east. Climb and maintain 2,100. Cleared visual. Runway 25. Approach. Switch to advisory on 122.5. Climb and maintain 2,100. Cleared visual. Runway 25.
Alright.
Advisory on 122.5.
Props full forward on final. Take over throttle with the right hand.
Cleared Pacific 819 Turn left heading to deep 5. Pacifica 6873. Contact Anchorage Center on 133.
Gear down.
133.7. Pacifica 6873. Papa Alpha Sierra X-ray traffic.
And now we got white and red, meaning we're right on the glide slope. I'm going to take over manual control. Switch over to radio 2 for VATSIM. Soldotna traffic. King Air 971 Delta Lima is 6 miles east. Soldotna visual approach runway 25 full stop descending out of 2000. Flaps down, gear down, and locked. Auto feather verified arm, prop sync is off. 2 whites now means we're a little too high. Just need to get this descent going. Don't want to slow down too much with those flaps, so we got to bring gas back in. But that will help us descend a little bit better. Alright, before landing checklist. Auto feather verified arm, vertical reference is confirmed, altimeter is set, flaps are on approach, landing gear is down, lights are as required, taxi light on, anti-ice is as required, anti-ice off, normal landing, flaps down, airspeed. We're going to shoot for 100 knots. Condition levers on high idle confirmed, prop levers on full forward confirmed, power lever on idle on final. Normal landing checklist complete. Double check gear one more time. You can't double check that enough. Still got 2 whites. We're high on the approach, but we got a good rate of descent and a really good airspeed, so we should get a white and a red here in just a minute. Double white, you're all right. Double red, you're dead. But you want white and red, indicating on glide path. I'm going to start shallowing out our descent in anticipation of a white and a red. Lined up with the runway here. Getting bumped around a little bit by the wind, and we're getting a little slow on final, so we're going to bring that throttle back in. Double check these rudders. Double check our differential brakes. And idle the engines. Got enough airspeed to carry us in. Let's slide to the right and slide to the left. Left, 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 left. There's our white and our red. Let's flare, flare, flare. Touchdown, brakes, reverse thrust. 60 knots, disengage reverse thrust. Flaps up. Get ready to taxi off the runway. Taxiing off runway, landing light and strobe light off. Full stop off the runway. Soldotna traffic, King Air 971 Delta Lima is clear of runway 25. Switch back to radio 1 and report off runway for them. After touchdown, low idle. Ground fine. After landing, engine auto ignition's off, anti-ice is off. Transponder on standby. Trim tabs are reset. Flaps are up. And taxi to parking. Gotta watch for where the fuel is at. I cannot refuel. If I refuel, it'll reset my flight because it'll think I didn't use any. It'll think I'm cheating. Because there's a program that I got here that keeps track of it. And there's the fuel box over there, so we're actually gonna go to the left. We're gonna park over here. I think I just saw some lightning off in the distance. That might be what you're talking about. Right over here. Anchorage is this way, so. Saw a couple of flashes over there. Of course, now that I pointed it out, I'm not seeing anything. Let's go ahead and get some music on for these guys. They seem to enjoy that. And park right here. Yeah, it's the lightning that's going on in real life is here in the game. The weather engine's insane. I don't think it's like exactly correlated, but if there's lightning activity, it generates lightning. I don't think if it like strikes in a certain spot, it generates that in the game. And I think that would just be a little too insane, but it's pretty close. The amount of it, the intensity of it is matched. Flight has been logged and the results can be found at the website. Your aircraft is no longer rented. If you want to continue, you must re-rent the aircraft. Let's get the seatbelt sign off. Shutdown and securing. Auto feather. Off. ITT stabilized at minimum. Let's open up the door and get them unloaded. Avionics off. Lights off, off, off. Beacon stays on. Engine still running. ITT stabilized at the minimum. Fuel cut off. Prop levers feather. Battery and generators off below 15%. Alright, below 15%. Battery and generators off. Aircraft is still disembarking. We can check our log here and see what we got. We made about 8 grand flying 180 miles for an hour and 8 minutes in 971 Delta Lima from Summit to Soldotna. Go back to the log. And here's a breakdown of the expenses and the log of the most recent flights we've done. We made a little over 10 grand, but we had to rent a plane for a little over an hour, spent 338 bucks there. We spent about $350 in fuel and paid $1,000 to the ground crew and $700 for booking. Total expenses $2,100 and got 100 bucks for our distance bonus, and we made a little about 8 grand. So that's good. It's good money. Our unboarding is complete, and we are ready to end the flight. We can get a... Hey! I'm promoted to first officer. Hey, fantastic. Oh, A little pat on the back right there. That's I can now certified to fly any aircraft type less than 44,092 pounds. Nice. All right. I did not think that was coming that quick. All right. Let's see here. Here's a breakdown of our flight. We flew the Beechcraft King Air 350 for an hour and 18 minutes of planned time, but we made it in an hour and 6, so we were a little early. That sucks. And we brought 14 passengers with us, 179 nautical miles. We landed at 100 knots, 97.93 knots. That's great. That's right. I wanted 100, so that's pretty much spot on. And our landing touchdown speed was negative 101.5 feet per minute. That's a kiss. So fantastic landing touchdown there. I can't ask for anything better, especially considering the wind on final there. Let me see, our average fuel burn, where is that? Cruise fuel per hour, 81. Oh, that's nice. We're supposed to burn 112, so we were super efficient. That's great, but we did burn lots on the climb out. I always burn lots on the climb out. Maintained 220 knots average. That's pretty good. I normally don't get 220. Alright, so the passengers thought it was an exceptional flight. They were relieved to have landed safely after the extreme weather they experienced on landing. They were in a better mood because they had food, as we all are. They were pleased by music on the ground, that's why I always do it for them. Irritated by excessive G-forces. I don't recall any excessive G-forces, and I had the seatbelt sign on for any turbulent portions of the flight, but you know what? They're paying customers, and the customer's always right. For FS passengers, we made $2,400. All three of our aircraft flew on our fleet, so we made $1,200 off of them. That's good. Considering the flight was perfect, the ticket price is low, the service price very low, and the service quality perfect. Passengers on this flight think your company's reputation should be 100%. We're now at 96.25 with a 0.37 increase. Overall flight results were perfect. 330 points. We made a smooth landing. Perfect flight, no problems, very satisfied passengers. We landed at a scheduled airport. I'll give you 30 points just for going where you said you were going to go. And extreme weather conditions during approach, but safe landing with satisfied passengers. 100 points there, so that's great. We can double check our landing. Let's go back 350 seconds. That's pretty good. Get a nice view of the landing here. There's where we glanced off to the right, and then glanced off to the left. And got that white and that red light on there. Landed long for sure. And we flare, 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 coaxing it down, and there we go. Pretty smooth, pretty smooth. Let's see that from the tower's perspective. And instant replay, let's do 330 seconds. And flare, 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 flare. Pretty nice little touchdown there. And one more view. Let's go aircraft. Let's go left wing. Options, instant replay, 330 seconds. Can't complain about that. We might as well just do one more, just for giggles. Let's go view mode, outside, spot, in the front. Options, instant replay, 330 seconds is a great time. Looks like, oh, you can see it, we definitely touched the right gear down first. There was wind coming in from the from the left to the right. Definitely pushed us off that way. I didn't really account for it. It's a lot easier to see it in that view. This is why I watch. I should have been banking a little bit to the right there. To the left, I mean. We got off center line, touched down that main gear first on the right, and then the left. Still pretty smooth though. Can't complain. We're all parked up. All the passengers are off the plane. The door is closed. We are secure. We can end the flight. And check the pilot records. We logged that at 1.5 hours of daylight with 0.3 instrument. So that's good. We're up to 47 hours of instrument time, 66 hours of night flying, and 171 hours of day flying with 334 landings. Most of them successful. Fly a jet to your house in the game. Well, I suck at flying the jets, but sure, why not? Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Guess that's probably what you're looking for. And probably be a short flight if we took off from Ted Stevens. We also need to disconnect from VATSIM if we're going to do this, because they don't appreciate that. PANC is Ted Stevens. PANC, Ted Stevens, active runway. Fry now. And I have no idea how to start up an F-18, so we're just gonna do auto start, I guess. You're gonna have to give me some directions. I don't know where I'm going, other than up by Elmendorf. Let's kill some of these programs to help save some frames per second here. Let's go /chat. That'll help. That'll help. Looks like the engines are... I don't even know what I'm looking at. Hold on now. They sound pretty good, so I'm gonna go with they're good. I'm gonna go with we're solid. And yeah, I guess screw it. Let's go. Full afterburners? Why not? Fuel truck. Okay. Didn't hit him. That was good. So you live east. I need some better directions than that. But we are now going east. There's Anchorage downtown. A wild fuel truck in his natural habitat, right? There's downtown Anchorage. Merrill Airport would be just on the other side of these buildings. There's Merrill. More to the right? Alright. Up there by the mountains. Oh, I was supposed to be going due east. That's right, you did say that. I figured you were up there by Eagle River. Alright, so you live due east of the airport. Oh, that's right, you live on the north side of Campbell. Hold on. Let's get oriented here. Alright. There's Elmendorf, there's Merrill, there's Ted Stevens, there's Campbell Lake Airstrip there. There's the park. I don't know where Muldoon is. Oh wait, hold on. You live by Tudor and Muldoon? So that is... Isn't that right over here-ish? No, hold on. Tudor runs north of this, north of the park. I think that's Tudor right down there below us. One of these roads. Yeah, this is Campbell Airstrip, which is inside that park. I think that's supposed to be right there where Tudor turns into Muldoon. I know it's not, you know, the best graphics in the world, but I think this game was made in 2004, so they make much better flight simulators. So you live just before it turns into Muldoon. So then you live right somewhere in here. Yeah. That's you. Now we'll do a high-speed flyby.
Over G.
As soon as I'm done blacking out. My bad, pilot. Let's try not to kill my guy. Guess this is... It will kill him. I lost Tudor.
Alpha Alpha Uniform Oscar, traffic, Cessna November 30055, taking off runway 31 south departure.
There it is. This is around where your neighborhood is. I'm sure this is not what it looks like in real life, but... Let's go put this thing down. Oh, too many negative G's. They didn't like that. Anyway, one successful flight, so there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream because this has gotta go to YouTube. But hey, I seriously appreciate you watching. It's always a pleasure to have somebody that's semi-interested. And if you want to see more, you feel free to tune in. Anytime you see me online. And if you want to go to that YouTube channel, there's like, I don't know, 50 other videos of different airplanes and whatnot. Oh, hold up. I got you. There it is. So you live right down there. Ish. There it is. Right down there. Yeah, man, definitely cool. Yeah, I've never actually had somebody sit with me the whole flight. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the broadcast, man, but I'll stay in the chat channel for a little while. You just won't be able to hear my voice, but I'll type. Catch you later, man. I hope to see you again sometime. And anyone else that's here, thanks for watching.